Good morning. Just give me a sec. So, just trying to get my volume set up right. But I'm having issue with my headphones. There we go. Much better. So at the moment, I just want to run the server and see what happens. Stream, how do we start the server? Server? Let's do this instead. I don't really feel like running Docker for this. And my music didn't start. Just a little off today. Try it again. Nice. So what I would like to try and get tested this morning is how um, adding to a stream and connecting to a stream works with Iggy. When you connect to a stream and start to listen to it, do you get all of the messages or just starting from a certain point? No streams found. Did I need the username and password? Okay. Those are the credentials. Create a new stream. Create a new topic. Retention policy. Invalid credentials. I thought Iggy was. Oh, it should be Iggy. Stream with name, my stream, and ID auto increment created. one partition. Okay. Sending a raw message to the specific partition of the topic, you can do the following command. I want to play with this. So I want 2 tabs of this. And then we will send a message. So we have Iggy running. So here we can pull. It doesn't keep pulling. What if I say no offset? Oh, first, last, next. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Offset, first, last, next. It looks like you always have to provide an offset. Okay. What if you pass a very large number? Oh, partition ID was 1. Okay. So given what we've figured out so far, I think we need a way. I think we need a way to know what the current state, like the current is. When we send a message, are we told what the message ID was? No. So do we have to monitor the streams that we're creating in order to know what the values are? Or do we try to just keep the, like, we could keep our own count. Goodness, that'd be treacherous. I'm trying to figure out how do we start listening to a stream at quote unquote now, at the current value. Oh, there was also a last, wasn't there? Offset, first, last. So we'd say we want the last what? So instead of offset, we can say last or next. Do we always have to provide offset? It doesn't read like that. We have dash dash. Oh, so if we do next, we always get 0. Last. Okay, so we can get the current one with last. If we push another one, 2, 3. Okay. So I wonder how they're actually getting the last one. So basically, we can start listening to whatever now is and ignore the first message. Right? No, I didn't see how you could poll for just the last message. Let's look at the docs. Docs.rs. Polling strategy last. Oh, interesting. First timestamp. Ooh, timestamp? Hmm. I think last is probably good. Timestamp's nice, though. Because we have the approximate timestamp. And querying Iggy only and not having to query TiKV would make it quicker. Basically, we could start at a specific timestamp that we know is in the past or before the data that we want to collect. Then we filter until we get to specific ID of a message and then move on, then send it to the customers, which would work. Okay. I think in Iggy we could keep only the last day's worth of data. I think it could even be less than that. Okay. So we take the first portion of our transaction ID, which is a timestamp, and go back 1 second because the value that this begins with, that our transaction ID begins with, is the epoch value of when the data is committed to disk on on the writer, right? So even before it gets to where we're going to shove it into Iggy. So it should be in the past anyways by the time it gets to Iggy. But hopefully this is all sub-second. So we would need to go to the previous second anyways. Okay. But we still have to figure out which timestamp. So when somebody calls in, where's the code? We still have to convert a checksum to a transaction ID. We still have to do that. But the rest, we just do with Iggy. Okay. So where do we start with this? Sorry, I was a little distracted. All good. There we go. Okay. So let's go to replicate. There we go. So when we get a request for this, we have to do a lookup to find the transaction ID. Essentially, we want this DB info at checksum. Let's deconstruct the request. Database stream request. Equals request. I thought we had more. Oh, we need to do a into inner. Is there only a shard for that? Database stream request. Really? We need a database name on that. It's this one. Stream database request. It has more. Am I filling out the wrong thing? Databases stream. Oh, this is the wrong one. Okay. Let's drag that off. You want to look for stream database updates. There it is. Ah, oops. Now this is a stream database request. Syntax error. There we go. Given the starting checksum, Fetch checksum dot pages. From the DB and some, no, see, we're going to just get one. Fetch database info at checksum. Fetch transaction ID for the checksum. I do not think we need this value. So step 2 would be to stream pages from Iggy starting at transaction ID minus 1 second. Three. Filter out messages that before Interesting. When somebody asks for a specific transaction ID, is that because they have it or because they know of it? So how does this work? How do we stream pages from Iggy starting at transaction, blah, blah, blah? We need an Iggy client. And we're just going to toss code at the wall here. And we'll clean it up afterwards. So we need a polling strategy where we use a timestamp. We know that much. The value has to be the first value from the transaction ID. So there's our epoch. Gonna pour some tea. So what takes a polling strategy? I think we need to have something that's connected to Iggy. Given kind. Search functions by type signature. For example, vector returns usize. So could we say something like that? Oh, nice. So what takes, we have a quick client poll message. I think that's on Iggy client, so we'll use Iggy client poll messages. So we need an Iggy client. And we will pull messages for that. Hmm. So the next one we can't do based on the stored consumer offset. And what is auto commit? Oh, that commits the value for polling, the next value. Consumer partition ID. Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to use partitions. Hey, Mustafa, how are you? All given amount of messages using the specified consumer strategy. Okay. Oh, good, good. Happy Tuesday. So we need an Iggy client, and that's what we were trying to set up yesterday. Here. So we have stream settings, creating a new one of these things. We have our Iggy client builder. Could, for now, just use defaults. Hmm. Keep an Iggy client. And let's see, let's also have a pub function stream from, and this will be specific to, let's say, to reverb. So we need the shard, the database name, and the timestamp ID. Oh, no, no, no. Let's stream from Mm. Yeah, let's do it from the timestamp. No, it's not a timestamp. We're calling it a transaction ID. There we go. Hmm. I'm not sure what to stream. Do we take something else or do we return something that something else forwards? I don't know yet. There are so many options. Let's pass the transaction ID name shard into this. We now have this thing. Self.streaming. What is streaming? It's an Iggy client? No, we want that to be whatever we call this. Stream. With archive, we were able to not return an error because we simply wrap something that's created and passed in. With streaming, though, I'm not expecting the server to pass it to provide a DB because our tests will hopefully be using the same thing. But what if they can't? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you wanted to ask a quick question. Sorry. It took me a bit to see that. You've been trying to learn more low level stuff, just like I'm doing, but it feels like you're always behind. So you're comparing yourself to other people, I suspect. And you need to learn everything from a from the very ground up. Okay. So can I give you an example of what you need to learn to actually be able to make low level code, something like SQLite clone, for example? Um, so I would start out with, um, first, you always compare yourself with yourself, right? Don't compare yourself with others. That's a losing game. There's always somebody smarter. There's always somebody faster. There's always somebody that can speak more languages, blah, 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 right? So your goal is to make an improvement every day. That's it. Right? It's like learning a language. You need to practice every day. It could be 5 minutes, could be 30 minutes, could be an hour. I try to put in at least an hour for what I'm doing here, learning Rust. And I've only been learning Rust for 4 years, but I'm not employed with Rust. I just like the language. I've been a programmer for a very long time and I'm passionate about it. Um, so, first off, the mindset, right? Just work out every day in your target. You know, in this case, it sounds like low level coding. And quite frankly, that could just be Rust stuff, right? To do that, I would say pick a project that you would find interesting and useful to yourself. And other people, I know some other streamers that have made tools like CCS, right? Or like Git UI. Like this Git UI tool is just because somebody wanted to learn this text UI system, this TUI system. And they do a lot of Git stuff. So find something that you would use, something that you do frequently, and then try to incorporate that in some sort of daily exercise. I hope that helps. It's, a little vague and generic, but mindsets usually are. And I can't really pick a project for you because I'm not sure what you're passionate about or what you use, what you would use. And here's CCS. Right, in this case, this is from another coder that wants to be able to parse the output from the Rust compiler more quickly. So they wrote this, it takes the output from the compiler and it makes it very terse. So it could be something very specific like that that just increases your iteration loops. I've actually done that before when doing Java. Found a way to get our iteration steps from about a minute to about 6 to 7 seconds, which sent our team's throughput through the roof. It actually did really well for my career um, because the gain in performance was acknowledged by management. So as you get into the project, you'll find yourself, rabbit holing in little interesting pieces, and that's fine. Right? The goal is to learn, and you know, just have fun with it. Let's see. Is it a good idea to just pick up a project and dive in, or is there some good source to start to learn, like books, to know the theory? I suspect you haven't said that you want to use Rust, so and I've seen many different people learn in different ways. Even my own children learn in different ways. So not Rust specifically. Okay. Um, some people uh, like to have a little bit of foundational knowledge before jumping into something, whereas other people will jump into something like start reading source code and then try to understand it. Right. So one might be considered like a formal way to understand the Rosetta Stone, whereas the other way is more of an exploratory way to learn the Rosetta Stone. Um, you end up in the same place, but I am more spatially oriented, and for me, I tend to jump in first and then read the documentation. But it's going to depend on your learning style, right? I'm much more of a tactile kind of learner, which is strange with programming, but it ends up being more of a, I don't know, a mental tactile experience, right? You jump into something and you start building shapes, and that's how my mind works. Um, oh, so so hey Sam, how you doing? And Mustafa, so for example, you see other people know very detailed, like they know the internals of a database at a very detailed level. That's It's true. It's true. Some people have spent time with learning that, right? Um, think about this acquired knowledge as practicing an instrument, right? You can't play the instrument the first time you pick it up. You have to spend time with it. And I know people that are very good with using a database, but they don't know the internals of it. Um, and other people know the internals of a database, but might not actually be very good at using it. Um, so it really depends, and it's kind of a crap answer. Like, um, but I think it comes back into just wanting to spend time with it, right? If you want to know internals of a DB, head in that direction, right? Set sail, go in that direction. Um, it's really about time spent. So if you want to know a lot of details about the internals of a database, you have to spend time knowing details about it. Right. Give me just a moment. Okay. Yep. You're welcome, Mustafa. Yeah. And set sail. Just just spend a little bit of time every day. It's okay if you miss a day, that's fine. But a little bit of time every day makes a big difference. Just get in the habit. What did we call the stream settings? Stream settings. There it is. Oh, it's private. That's right. We had a new. Not find value. Reconnection internally in the scope. Yes, of course. Server name. I don't know that it matters. Server address. Connection retries. 10. I don't know. It's like 100. Connection interval. That's a duration, isn't it? Hmm. Why don't we just make these public? Mismatch types. Expected string. Do I use Rust at work? I do not. Connection retries. Retry a lot. The system needs it. Reconnection interval. Let's have this set to like 10 minutes. So if it's, we're going to try to reconnect for 10 minutes. Can we just reconnect forever? We could use some very large value. What does Iggy do? Reconnection, max retries. Okay, it looks like max retries can be nothing. Let's just go with the defaults. That returns a result. I'm tempted to make this parameter as well, a type param. So that when creating a server, we pass this in here. I suspect we wouldn't have something as complicated as archive, because archive has, many things specified on it. Because you pass in basically a raw DB. All right, Mustafa. Take care. Name this to Iggy stream. And then we will probably have our own test stream. Let's rename this to Iggy. Or, let's leave it. We want Iggy stream to implement some interface. That would include this here. Let's pass that in. Now that needs to be. Do these need to be public? Give me a minute. No, it doesn't look like Iggy client is clonable. It's fine. Let's see where it breaks if we don't have that. It does have debug though. This is not clonable either, this struct. So does this need to be clonable? Come back to this code. This parameter might not live long enough. Yes. Okay. So we have our Iggy stream. Set that up here. For tests, we can pass in some other type of stream. Now, we do not have some custom impl or some trait that this thing must implement. I would kind of like to call that stream, um, but stream is just so overused. Let's call it archive stream, something like that. Mm, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So we have mod Iggy. This will need to be pub mod Iggy. Good. Oh, and let's move this. We don't know exactly what this is going to be. We should figure that out soon. It's not in the trait. We should figure this out before it becomes too painful to create this. So this is our interface so far. We have stream from. It could be stream from transaction ID, something like that. Hmm. About since transaction ID. So the code would read like self.stream.since transaction ID. Then you give it the info. Yes, pain. Since transaction ID. All right. Now, how do we expect this to be used? Now we have a stream. Not that one. No. Here. So we get a transaction ID. We're going to move this into here. Since transaction ID. Then we give it a bunch of stuff. And magic happens. The filtering should happen elsewhere. All right. Well, I need to run off to work. Let's see. Who else is streaming Rust? Future Highway. I'm going to raid Future Highway. Like it didn't take. Oh, it says I'm already reading them. Prove it. Let me refresh the page. Oh, looks like we are. Well, till next time, y'all. Bye bye.